Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the High Ground Podcast. I'm excited because we are going to be diving into some fan films, which is something I'm not normally into. I've seen a few in my day. It's not my forte, but I'm bringing on some awesome people that can talk film from different perspectives. And yeah, we're going to jump in there and check out the best of the best. We're doing that right now on the High Ground. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the High Ground Podcast. We have um, two people who've been here before and two who are here for the first time, but I've been wanting to have on forever. And finally, Nicole didn't just say no to me. So that's awesome.
Was never the case. Don't lie to the people. Never the case.
No, you had work
Never.
obligations last time, which is totally
Yes,
cool.
unfortunately.
And Peyton, I was originally saving you for like the Last Jedi one, but I'm like, it's gonna be a while till I go there again. So you can
Hey
come
man,
on
I'll come
multiple times.
back. Just let me know.
Awesome. So I want to start by let's go around and I'm gonna ask, who are you? Where can we find your amazing content? And lately with Book of Boba Fett, I don't know, the fans are just big old simps, just a bunch of simp lords running around. So let's see if I can recreate it. You get to marry anyone in Star Wars, but divorce is not an option. Uh, so you have to get a spouse from the Star Wars universe, but like I said, divorce isn't an option. That means that you have to pick someone that you think you're going to have some longevity with. Um, so yeah, let's go around and we'll go to Harith first. And anyone that's in the chat, I'd love to see your guys' answers as well.
Oh, I'm Hair Productions. You can find me on Hair Productions on TikTok, and every Monday I do the They Fly Now show on YouTube at I think same time as High Ground, usually 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We usually talk about set topics, and yeah, and who can I marry in Star Wars? Oh, that's kind of hard. I would probably say I'm just gonna say Jyn Erso, because why not?
Jyn Erso? Okay, no, good choice. Awesome. And let's go to Peyton.
All right, hello. I'm Peyton. You can find me on TikTok at PeytonJB and pretty much everywhere else, Twitter, Instagram. If you're a movie fan and you use Letterboxd, I'm also on there. Way too much. But yeah, I'm first and foremost, I'm a fan of movies, and Star Wars has a couple of those. I've gotten more into Star Wars interacting with everyone on the Star Wars side of TikTok. It was kind of by accident, but now my love of Star Wars has grown over the past year for just way bigger than it used to be. I mean, I grew up with it, but it still was kind of on the back burner for a while. And you guys beat it out of me, basically. But yeah, if I could marry anyone in Star Wars, my first thought was Rey, just because she's so nice, and I feel like she appreciates the little things, and I don't know. I just feel like there's never a dull moment with Rey. But I also thought about C-3PO because he'll just never hold a grudge. So I don't know.
Awesome. I'm trying to picture that. Like I don't want someone always telling me the odds. So I don't know. We'll see. How about you, Hannah?
I agree that C-3PO would get old fast potentially. I'm just picturing him butting in. But anyway, hi. I'm Hannah. And you may know me as Discount Bo-Katan on TikTok. That is where I do most of my creating. And I'm also an actor and director. And if I were to marry a Star Wars character, I already made a TikTok about this question. Kind of a joke answer, kind of a strategic answer. My answer I already gave was Luke, because it's like, oh, well, we're both gay in the wrong direction, so no hard feelings. We can each live our lives, and I feel like we're great friends. But my genuine answer would have to be Ahsoka. I think that she would be an incredibly supportive partner, and I think that would balance each other out quite well.
Okay, I like it. And
Yeah.
real quick, I have to do a shout out and say thank you for the super chat. I don't know what 2NZD is, but it sounds cool. I assume for Jar Jar only, Dark Lord Jar Jar for life. And we, I started laughing because like the very first person I saw, we got a super chat. Thank you so much, Connor. The very first one I saw was Yoda. Yoda final answer. We got some love for Watto. I mean, I feel like Watto would, I don't know, be able to provide. He seems good with money. I don't know. He makes me uncomfortable. Very. Chris Story's lawyer says, "Who would I marry? Hera, Ray." Awesome. St. Pat says Senator Chuchi.
It's a really good choice.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
I'm not even. Man. Blonde Tapperware says Ben Solo. Always a great choice, especially if you're saying Ben and not Kylo Ren. Let's see here. Brooke says marriage, you say? I can't think of anyone. And if you aren't aware, her name is Brooke of Boba Fett. So that might give you an answer. I forget who I picked last time, but now I'm thinking Fennec. I mean, Fennec is just always a good choice. And of course, Babu Frick. Because who wouldn't want to come home to that? To so much hype when you walk in the door, you get a hey every single time. But yeah, how about you, Nicole? Where can we find your awesome stuff? And who are you marrying? I mean, I already know, but that's okay.
Do you? No, I don't know. Hi, my name is Nicole. You can find me on TikTok at Nicole Maricela. You can find me on Instagram, Nicole.Maricela. Same thing, just with a dot in between. And I think the obvious answer is this guy right here. I can't tell my directions. That's Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron is my safety answer, my go-to. But Senator Chuchi is definitely a close second. I fell in love with both of these characters very quickly. When I first saw them, I think they're both very driven characters. They both take their jobs very seriously, and I admire that. And I also feel like there's potential for good rapport with those two characters. So I like to vamp off of people, and I think whoever knows me has seen that. And I like Poe and Senator Chuchi. Those are my top two choices.
Awesome. I love it. For me, which I am married already, and it actually happens to be my anniversary tonight. We're doing stuff this weekend, but it's
Anniversary.
3 years tonight. I'm gonna have to agree with Master Yoro here and say Geode. Someone I can count on, someone that's reliable,
the only
solid
answer.
as a rock. No, in all seriousness, though, I mean, it's hard not to choose Padme, but like I feel like she also wouldn't have any time for me at any point. So that's also true. But I think I can do my own thing. That's cool. Yeah, Padme. Final answer. But awesome. Now, this episode, I wanted to talk about fan films because like the quality has just gone up. Like I remember the stuff I remember was just straight up booty. Like it was not great. So
we call them independent, low budget B-rate movies. Let's give it a little respect.
No, that's true. No, but like as time and like the technology has advanced, people are now able to do professional grade work or get the professional grade tools to work with, and like we've seen a big old like jump up in quality, and because of that, I wanted to dive into some of these fan films and see what's popping. So I brought on you guys because you guys all know stuff. You have different niche little groups when it comes to film. And so that's the second thing I want to do was kind of go around. And by the way, this is meant to be conversational. I am going around so that people know where to go. But
Yes.
so yeah, feel free to jump out if something speaks to you. But I have to ask, like, for each of you, I want to hear what your relationship is with film. Like, what is your thing? Is it acting, directing, writing, the cinematography, sound and scoring? That whole thing. And what part of Star Wars really encapsulates the things that you love specifically? And I'm gonna start with Peyton.
Okay, so I mean, I love movies, so this is an exciting question. I would say probably my main interest was always cinematography. I always loved how much cinematography adds to a character or a scene or the story in general. It's like telling a story in and of itself. It just adds an extra layer to everything. So, I mean, that might be why my favorite is The Last Jedi, because I think that is the best shot Star Wars movie, in my opinion. But yeah, cinematography is probably the one that jumps out at me the most.
Awesome. I love it. And all right, who else? I'll have you guys start jumping up.
Not all at once. Okay, well, I opened my mouth. So, yeah, I'm an actor. I'm a professionally trained actor. I graduated eons ago. No, 5 years ago. And I studied acting for film and television. I've always loved to perform. I did acting in high school and before then. So I've been acting for like a decade, but professionally for like 5 years after I graduated. I like all aspects of film, being in front of the camera, being behind the camera, pre-production, post-production. I've made my own independent projects on non-existent budgets. From directing, from starring, from writing, from editing. I've learned a couple of things from each respect of film. So yeah, I'm also a big film fan, and I love performing. I love working those creative muscles, like I said, in front of or behind the camera. And I think the thing that sticks out to me when it comes to film, Star Wars and film, it's the cinematography. I think the way that the cinematography and the special effects are able to take us to a completely different galaxy and immerse us in such a artistic way, it's so captivating, and that's probably one of my favorite things. That's something that drew me into Star Wars as a franchise in general. I've only been a fan for like 2 years and some change, so I don't remember my life before Star Wars, but I'm glad that I don't. So yeah, that's pretty much what drew me in. The cinematography. That's one of the fields I haven't really done a lot of work in. I mentioned all the stuff that I did before, but cinematography is something I haven't really done. I've always had someone else taking care of that for me. So yeah, that's something that that just keeps me fascinated with any type of Star Wars media I consume, whether it's a show or a film. That's something I take away with me for forever.
Awesome. I love it. I mean, if there are some Nicole projects floating around there, feel free to talk about them, or send us some links or whatnot. Is there anything you want to share?
Maybe one of these days. The right after I graduated, I did a web series, an independent thing. And I let it see the light of day for like 2-3 years, and then I kind of let it collect dust. So maybe one of these days I'll bring it back out for people to consume and shit on. Am I allowed to curse? I'm sorry. Is this a
No, you're fine. I mean, we don't want it to be a main thing, so I don't get flagged and stuff. But
okay, that's why I ask.
we use it to season things, right?
Seasoning. Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah, one of these days maybe I'll let my stuff see the light of day again.
And then Connor in the chat says we need to make you a YouTube membership. I actually have one. You guys should. I don't really talk about it because I don't know how to promote my stuff properly. But if you do want to support the channel, there is a YouTube membership option that you are more than welcome to sign up for. I love making content. I want to keep doing it, and then hopefully turn it to a full-time gig. So any support towards that would be awesome, but it is not needed. Anywho, we have 2 left. Who wants to go?
I will. Oh,
Yeah, no, you can go.
okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I'll flip it. Yeah, I am. So, as it relates to film, I've only ever acted. But I am a theater director as well. So some of those, like, some of the eye for that stuff translates, and it doesn't always translate to the production aspect. But when I'm like analyzing film, I'm analyzing it kind of in a director way a lot of the time, which is really kind of an interesting way to look at it. But yeah, I mean, I've acted in film before. I have so much fun doing it. It is a big old good time, and I just love to watch everyone around me do their magic, and then it comes out at the end, and it's like, oh my god, my face, that screen, crazy. So that's my relationship to filmmaking. I've been taking more classes in college though in relation to actual production.
Nice. I love it. And what is there a specific Star Wars episode, movie, something like that encapsulates that's the stuff that you love?
Yeah, when I watch a movie, the thing that I'm really looking to like be taken by are really complex characters, really interesting characters that are being examined, pretty thoroughly, which is why I love The Last Jedi, because I think that it's like one big character study. And I'm just drawn to like stories with characters that I really care about and that like really interest me. And sometimes if the plot isn't like all there, if the characters are, I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. It does not need to be even a coherent movie. I can watch a bad movie, but if it's like, oh, I really related to that character, I'll walk away with a smile on my face.
Awesome. From like Luke in The Last Jedi specifically, his acting was incredible. Plus, Ben, you can feel his intensity in every scene, like it's just like pouring out of the screen. So there's some powerhouse performances in there.
Adam Driver is crazy in that movie. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, just real quick. Connor says, hate to say it, there's no way to join your membership. I just realized I'd set it up, but never turned it on.
Oh.
So I did turn it on. If anyone refreshes the screen, that you'd probably see it. But again, Harith, last but not least, what do you love?
So if I had to like specify into filmmaking what I particularly do, I'm in college right now studying for a minor in film, media production in particular. And what I mainly focus on, in my opinion, is film editing. I love the editorial process of like going through scenes and figure out what works, what doesn't work, how can I fix the pacing, how can I like execute the director's vision and what he wants to do in a film. And if I had to like compare it to Star Wars of any movie, it would probably be A New Hope, because I love the documentary called Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope Saved in the Edit. I feel like that like perfectly like it's like a bad production happening, but like the editors are able to go in and like fix the movie and make it into like this masterpiece we see today.
Yeah, and sometimes it works the exact opposite way. Looking at you, Suicide Squad.
Oh, we don't talk about that one.
I mean, they had a trailer team make it. Like,
it was horrible.
No, that is true. I never got super into film myself, but I love to write. I love to write, and I love storytelling. So for me, like, a story is a story. I have trouble in my mind differentiating between the different mediums. Like, obviously certain stories are best told over certain mediums, but it's like, what are you trying to convey? And I think the story should come first. And that's one of the things I love about Star Wars, is there's a lot of things that George Lucas does that breaks away from conventional filmmaking, at least the conventional filmmaking of its time. And he's just doing whatever the hell because he has a story in his heart that he's trying to put onto a screen. Does it follow the regular movie trope? I mean, it certainly follows a decent amount of them. But there's also like he wanted to just have droids wander in the desert for like 45 minutes. Like dude's a madman. Um, so yeah, that's kind of like what really hits me. Uh, but yeah, let's kind of jump into it. So essentially, what I did is I went a little bit of a different route this time. So I had the people in the community like build me a list of their favorite Star Wars fan films, and then rather than make everyone watch the same ones, I had us all just kind of pick and choose which ones we were going to watch, so that we can really see what speaks to each of us. Um, and so I want to kind of go around and have people talk about one of the ones that they've seen, and um, and basically pitch us on us. You know, what was the story? What was it about? What was great about it? What would you change? Um, I left a few questions on if you want to answer those, but I don't. Let's go to Hannah first. Um, so the and yeah, and just pick one of the ones that you watched and kind of walk us through it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the actually the first one that I watched was Force of Darkness. It's the Kylo versus Vader fan film, and it was, I mean, you know, it starts. Kylo is arriving on a snow planet. It looks kind of Starkiller basey, but I'm sure it's not. And they're looking for something, which you can pretty easily fill in the gaps that they're looking for. The map to Luke Skywalker, and he sort of gets sidetracked and sees Vader in the forest, and they fight. And their fighting styles are just like super accurate to the way that the characters do it in the movie. It's like a really well choreographed fight for these two characters who have such like specific styles. And essentially it's Vader tormenting him and saying, you know, oh, you'll never be good enough. You'll never be good enough. Vader beats him ultimately, ish for a moment, has him in a chokehold. And, you know, Kylo has to have his lightsaber, which is on the ground, skewer him like a little metallic kebab. And then, you know, take Vader's saber and cut his head off with it. It's intense, especially for this, you know, man that you know that Ben worships, have him like taunt him and then have to kill him. It's very emotional for him, I'm sure, and that comes through despite the fact that both of the actors are masked the whole time. I guess they couldn't get Adam Driver, I don't know. But you know, it really comes across, and you can kind of feel his anguish. And then it all fades. It was a vision, blah, blah, blah. Ostensibly Snoke taunting him somehow. Oop. And it's a, you know, it all ties together in this end credit scene where he's in his chambers sort of like decompressing, and then an officer comes in and says, hey, we found a new lead to the map, which ostensibly leads us into The Force Awakens. And I just really enjoyed it so much. The fight was so brilliantly done. It was just, you know, the intensity for Ben was really, really there. I don't know. I think they said it was posted 2 years ago. I don't know like where in the timeline of things that had been released it was made. But it totally reminded me of that moment in The Rise of Skywalker where Palpatine is saying, you know, I'm every voice that you've ever heard inside your head. And one of the voices is that of Vader. So it's like, oh my God, like full circle. He's being taunted by Vader appearing to him. But anyway, I love that. I love Ben, so I loved that.
Yeah, again, that's Force for Darkness. The production value on it is really good. So yeah, I definitely am going to recommend y'all check it out. At the end, I'll put like when this gets posted for people, I'll put links to each one. I don't want to show too much of them on the screen because I do want you guys to go look at it. Also, I don't know if I get in trouble for that because it's not mine and we're just talking about it.
Copyright. Very confusing.
But they can't copyright it.
I know, it's really weird.
But I can I don't know.
It's confusing. YouTube.
There's some gray areas, and I will I'll err on the side of caution while still preferring to ask for forgiveness rather than permission.
Right.
And films are just confusing gray areas as is. I haven't been on like productions for them, but I've helped out with people. It's very confusing.
Yeah. Either way, shouldn't get caught because our pictures were like in the frame and there was no sound. So yeah, we should be all good. If only there was a lawyer here. There's not.
A lawyer who has some interest in Star Wars, perhaps, could help us out with this particular.
That's too specific, Hannah. Refine
No,
your.
What am I asking for?
Too much. Too much.
But yeah, all right. So, I mean, do you recommend it? Who do you recommend it to?
Yeah, I mean, if you love Kylo, you'll love it. Honestly, if you don't like Kylo and you want to see him get a little bit mollywopped by Vader, you probably would also like it. Like, you know,
it's for Kylo antis and stands. It's for everybody.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
No.
you know. And also, if you just appreciate, because the bulk of the movie is this fight. If you just appreciate like a really well shot fight, I would recommend it. It's only 10 minutes long, as are most of these. So not too much of your time to look at something pretty cool.
Awesome. All right, I love it. Nicole, how about you? Which one are you to check out?
I saw like 3, and I'm gonna pull up my notes right now for the one that I really liked. Give me a moment. Okay, so I saw one called Hoshino. When I pick things that I want to watch, it's more often than not based on what I associate the title with. I read a title and I like to free associate. So before I figure out the synopsis, before I figure out the plot, anything, I look at the title and I think, okay, what could this possibly mean? So I free associate. It could be a character, it could be a setting, it could be a place, it could be a historical event. Who knows? And whatever sounds the most riveting in this little pea brain of mine, I'm like, yeah, I'll go with that. So with Hoshino, before I read the description, I was like, maybe this is a planet. This is like a planet that a person has made up, and we're going to explore a planet. Or maybe this is a name of a general or a pilot. Who knows? So that was kind of my reasoning to pick this one. And when you made the list, you sent us out the list. It was listed in the original trilogy era, and I'm always fascinated with that timeline, the original trilogy. So yeah, it's about the journey of a blind Jedi Master and kind of their journey of becoming one with the Force. We get a backstory of when they were training, when they were a young Jedi in training with their master, and then the story of basically how she became blind. And the notes I have here, I really like the makeup effects that they had for for Hoshino. That's the main character. That's the Jedi Master. That's her right there. I really love the makeup that they did with the contacts and the scarring. I thought that was super cool. I wrote Jedi threads were well done. I'm a big fan of costumes, and if people can nail them properly. And I think that this short really did it well. I loved their threads, the Jedi threads. They were looking fresh, looking nice. Another thing I really liked, had really nice dialogue. It was very short and direct and curt, and I liked that a lot. There's a line that stuck out to me from Hoshino's master, I think right before this fight that you're previewing right now, or after. I'm not sure. It was in this moment. One of my favorite lines from him was, "This is light, but it has weight." He was referring to his lightsaber because she's getting tired in this scene. She's getting very tired of having to fight with a stick and battle with a stick. And he points to his lightsaber and goes, "Remember, this is light, but there it is. That moment, this is when he shows his lightsaber. This is light, but it has weight." And I think that spoke volumes because obviously I'm sure he's referring to, this is the light side. However, this weapon that we carry, it has weight. So that stuck out to me a lot. So I love the training that they do. I wrote down compelling and layered dynamic between Master and Padawan. I thought that was great. And one of the final things that I really liked was the lighting in some of these scenes. It really set the tone, especially when they were showing the probably most unforgettable moment of Hoshino's life of becoming blind. The lighting was just so well done, and overall in this film it was really well done. So yeah, this is really solid. It's I think like 7, 8, 9 minutes long, not too long, and I loved everything about it. I think this one stuck out the most to me out of the films that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
So I recommend it to anybody who is, an OT stan, and even if that's not your favorite era or timeline, I still say go for it, because the themes here were just really well done, like any Star Wars film, about patience, about trust, and things like that. So I want to recommend it to everybody. I think it was just so well done, and I really also recommend it to people who are in love with dialogue. If that's one of the things that gets you hooked, I recommend that. I think the script was really well done, and the actors delivered. They delivered. I think the direction was really well done, because it can, dialogue can look really phenomenal on paper, but it really does ultimately matter how it gets delivered. So I think whoever the director was, A+, because that was really a lot of good delivery in this short.
Yeah, I especially, because I especially loved, like you said, the lighting in that cave scene, because when you're in a cave, how do you show stuff?
Right.
Like there's just certain problems, and for me, that's the thing I am really interested in when it comes to film. So I know I talked about writing, but I also love the problem solving aspects of it. Of like,
yeah,
okay, I want this shot. How do I get it? I'm gonna have to hook this camera up on a pole and like snake it back through this thing. Like, I don't know, that type of like engineering type things is just fascinating. And again, like you said, the dialogue is great. One of the things that he says in this one is, the difference between a lightsaber and like their wooden sword is that a lightsaber can be turned off. It's a sword that doesn't have to be a sword. And you're like, damn.
I'm telling you, I know. Whoever wrote this, or the screenwriter, playwriter is, I want to talk. This is great. Great stuff. It's really good. Really well done.
Awesome. How about you, Peyton? What would you? Which one that you went with?
So I want to talk about, this is a simpler one, but it's an animation called TIE Fighter. And the reason I want to talk about this one is because there's no dialogue. It's just kind of the pew pews, It's essentially just a random space battle between the Empire and the Rebels. But I love the aesthetic of it. Everything is so fluid. It's like has kind of an 80s anime sort of vibe to it. And I love, there's this thing it does constantly where it shows the stormtroopers in the cockpit of the TIE fighter, and it'll show their helmets, but then the helmets will fade away to show their expressions. And so it adds so much life to it. And I also thought it was kind of interesting to see a space battle where the Imperials actually win.
Oh wow!
And yeah, just everything is so pretty, and it's only like 7 minutes long, but it just flies by.
Wow,
it's really beautiful.
No, this
I'm not gonna
really
lie.
Well done.
It was pretty jarring because it's from the point of view of the Empire, so it feels propaganda-y.
yeah, but it's really just about the aesthetic for me. Like, just notice like how everything flows together is so nice.
It's visions before visions.
Yeah, exactly.
Say, like, visions, right?
And I look through the comments on this one. There's so many people that are like, it's way better than what Visions gave us, Disney.
Oh, stop.
But no, I really, really enjoyed this one. It was so fun. And I also want to say I did watch the one that Hannah talked about, and I love that one as well. But the production value on these are so great. And yeah, it is just weird seeing a point of view of the Empire, especially that they win at the end. I thought that was an interesting choice. But yeah, you'll see right there what it did to show that character's expression, just kind of the helmets disappear. And it's also smooth. It just happens in an instant.
It's such a simple thing, but like when done well, it's just I don't know, it's so gorgeous. I really enjoyed this one as well. Uh, it I love the anime Initial D. And this felt very Initial D to me. Initial D in space. So um yeah, so definitely check this out if you guys want to watch the whole thing in its entirety. And so yeah, I like Peyton, highly recommend this one. And also, sorry, I didn't realize that you had also seen. I knew someone else had watched the Vader one. I tried to put those ones at the bottom, but yeah, if you've also seen it, then feel free to be part of that conversation as well.
Yeah,
There's
for
a couple,
sure.
Okay.
There's a
I
couple more
mean,
where there's overlap.
Hannah covered like everything. She captured it all. I just also wanted to add though that the guy who voiced Vader in that, I thought at first that they used clips from James Earl Jones, but they didn't. Like it was actually a person voicing Vader, and he did a really good job.
And kind of building on what Peyton was saying, I wasn't really familiar. I watched it when it came out, but I kind of went back and kind of looked into research of how it started. Apparently, they were working on that since 2015, like right after Force Awakens came out. It was in production for like 4 years. You can kind of tell by how crazy the effects are for like a fan film. You could tell like they put a lot of time, money, and effort into that.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's that one. It is gorgeous, and like how they made it look, I don't know, just beautiful.
It's called 4 years of grinding at a computer, just like
Literally,
like,
yeah, just never
rotoscoping
moving.
everything to detail.
Yeah.
Color correcting frame by frame. Yeah, y'all are gnarly. I mean, I know Harith, you do that as well. I've seen you
Yeah.
edit to have Spider-Man wear different
Yeah.
different suits and stuff, scene by scene, which is super
Yeah.
sick. But yeah, how about you? What's one of your picks?
So again, I remember you gave us like a master list of things, and I remember I picked one in particular. I know someone else picked it, but I picked one in particular, and then I was thinking about it, and I was having a conversation in VC about fan films, and then I realized I was like, oh my god, how did I forget about this one film? How did nobody recommend this? It's a fan film called Jakku First Wave. It's basically them in an Imperial like troop standport waiting to go out into the Battle of Jakku. It's very much filmed like this is their last days in battle type thing, where they're having a conversation. It's like 3 stormtroopers talking about how they got into the Empire and like what their experiences were, and like one's like, oh, my brother died and I came like drafted into the Empire. One, like they all go through one by one, and the way it's shot, directed, lit, it's almost like perfection. Because my biggest issue with fan films overall is they very much like to focus in on the action because it's super easy. Because like, okay, well, we can just shoot action. It doesn't really require much. We could just have that. What I love about this is all about the cinematography, the writing, the directing. It's all about like the acting and like everything, like how the scene's driven, and like it's like again, like it just encapsulates like what I want in a fan film is more of like the acting and the dialogue and how like the script basically drives everything.
The in-between moments.
Yeah. And like you could tell like they improv a lot and like they worked, and like I love how like instead of just using like, because like a lot of fan films like they shoot in fours just because it's easy, just go to a random forest, let's go film and like let's just do an action sequence. No, I love how like they focus on the set directing, and like you could just tell like they were like writing this, and honestly like through the new canon, like I love the Battle of Jakku, and this also just kind of adds like another layer on top of that. So again, this is the one I picked because like I just felt like this is a lot different than the fan films you look on YouTube, because like it's giving you something completely different than everything else is like delivering to you, because it's all built on how they got drafted into the war, and again like it's another Imperial point of view storyline, and it's like this is like the last first troops going into the Battle of Jakku, and like it starts off with like none of them survived. Yeah. So like it's like the last like grasps you see of them and before they die.
Now it is shot and lit perfectly, and like building scenes and stuff like that is, I don't know, those are just really interesting problems to have to solve, and getting into the tight shots and things. Now I don't fully even know what I'm talking about, but
like you can tell like they use that type of angle on purpose to kind of add more tension to the scene, because like you can see the guy like gripping the blaster ready to go, like they're all nervous and they try to like chit chat, like have casual conversations to like get their minds off the topic, because like like whether they know it or not, they know this is the end for the Empire, and they're just waiting for the battle to begin.
Yeah. And that's the type of thing that I absolutely love. So I haven't watched through this one yet. I know you recommended it, but I ran out of time.
Yeah.
It's the life of also making content and trying to get
You
a
know.
Book of Boba Fett video up, which is up on the channel. Check it out if you want to hear my thoughts. But yeah, awesome. Okay, all right. So that's our first round. So I wanted to kind of get an idea of the timing. So let's go ahead. We'll go around one last time. So if you're saving your favorite one for the end, don't. We're gonna make it through two apiece. And yeah, I mean, I know I've been calling on people, but does anyone feel especially strongly, or we can grab actually let's talk about Dark Jedi. I know a couple people watched that one.
Yeah, I watched that one. Yeah.
That one was one of those that you're kind of talking about, where it's like, let's go into a forest and do an action sequence.
Yeah.
It was an opportunity for these awesome stunt performers to show off, is basically what it was. The stunts were insane. I want to see way more hand-to-hand integrated into lightsaber combat going forward, because I loved that so much. It was like, yeah, I have my lightsaber, but like, I think I might punch you in the face because I feel like it. But it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like, they're putting something new in there. It felt like organic and like, oh, they're scrappy, like, and they're going for it, which I loved. And especially the lady, the Jedi, who's, I don't remember if they say her name.
I don't remember names anyway, so
Watching it, yeah. And then there was a little detail that I loved, which, I mean, there were a couple of little details which I loved in that one, but every time a saber would like get set down onto the forest floor, which is like littered with all those leaves, it would leave a little trail where the blade was.
Yes,
where the leaves are now on fire.
Little crackles
Loved it.
would come up. I was like, that's attention to detail if I've ever seen it.
It was so cool, and no one ever does that. Like I never see that. They never do that in like animation and stuff, in Rebels and things like that. But I loved it, and the detail with the kyber crystal as well. He's got there. You can see good. He's begun to turn to the dark side. He's got like an orange lightsaber. Because he said like he hasn't figured out how to bleed his kyber crystal all the way. And then, spoiler alert, at the end, when he's killed by somebody else and she turns to the dark side, and takes his lightsaber, or maybe hers, it changes to like a true red. It's like flickering between orange and true red. And I loved that take on kyber crystals. I'm not sure if that's like technically how it works in canon, and how, however you are feeling in the moment is what color your crystal turns. But it was really...
lightsabers are like mood rings, didn't you know?
Yeah.
Like they just... Who remembers those?
Really
just to derail for like 2
way
seconds.
To do it, but it was like, I wonder if that's how it usually works. Because I know that, in canon, kyber crystals are like in tune with your thing, and that's how lightsabers are activated without pressing the button. But
yeah. So it's it's not canon. That's one of the things I really loved about the short in Star Wars Visions. That one was the Ninth Jedi. My favorite. Oh, it's so good.
Yes.
Well, second favorite, Tatooine Rhapsody for the win for me. But
Tatooine Rhapsody is great. It's a good one.
But I always love. I mean, like you said, the combat and stuff in this is definitely the main feature. But it is beautifully shot, beautifully lit, and animated, and a lot of the functionality, like that scene is just beautiful,
Yeah.
Now, if you want to see what happens, you're gonna have to watch the video. So it was called Dark Jedi. Definitely go check it out.
I wrote down some notes for that one too. It was pretty much what Hannah said. I mean, the cinematography was done really well. I think I wrote down that they used like yeah, they did the let's go into a forest and battle this shit out. But I think they used the space in the forest very well, like especially cinematography wise. There was so many cool angles, so many different shots. I mean, I can only imagine how long each of those shots must have taken. I
The
wrote
tracking
down
shot with the rolling
Yeah.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
oh, so good, so good.
Or
Um,
dolly or whatever.
yeah, that thing. I wrote down that the fight sequences were really well done. I wrote down these two are obviously professionals and they know what they're doing. So this was one of those films that just showcased fight sequences and combat, and I think it was very well done. Twist at the end was fantastic. I think it worked wonderful as a short, but I would love to see more of what led up to this moment, because I feel like if we had some sort of like history, like visual history of these two, I feel like I would have been like 20 times more invested in this film. But and I feel like I like to be sympathetic but critical at the same time. I don't know if I found the right perfect balance of that yet, but I think this film might have been a good test for that, because I feel like whenever you make any sort of project or film series, whatever, you're juggling 7, 8 to 10 different things at once: acting, writing, filming, editing, blah blah blah. And it's hard. It's hard to juggle all these things at once and to execute everything 100%, right? And I think this particular film, Dark Jedi, shows that not every single time you're going to nail that. There's some films that maybe do that or attempt to do that, but with this one, I could see that they were juggling the acting and the fight sequences and the cinematography. And I feel like, because maybe for me personally, the dialogue might not have been my favorite, and on top of that, the delivery didn't really go hand in hand with that. I think the juggling might not have been perfect, but I think this is where the sympathy part comes in. I think that they really did a great job at highlighting these two professionals and just showing off the amazing choreography that these two were doing. And
That's like one hell of a reel for
right,
for a fight artist. Like,
exactly.
Oh my God.
Like, maybe this isn't whatever. Like, it's all subjective, right? So maybe this wasn't like the best script. You don't need that. Like, if that's something that wasn't one of your top priorities, something that you were juggling, cool, fine. But like you said, this is a wonderful showcase of fight choreography and still something to be proud of. And I hope they are, because well done. I thought it was really well done, nonetheless.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely, highly recommend everyone check it out.
It's short too. It's like 5-6 minutes, not too long.
And that's a cool thing about a lot of these fan films. Some of them are somehow the ones I picked were all like 25 minutes long, and I was like, man,
Yeah. That's kind of the strength for like Jakku First Wave. It's only like 3 minutes, and it's just like, okay, let's get on these characters. What is this? That one's let's fight this. Let's show off like what our choreography skills are like.
Right.
All right, we'll have Peyton. I know you saw Distant Echo as one of the ones that you watched, so I'd love to get you to lead off your thoughts and feelings on it.
So, first of all, this one takes place when Luke is training Rey, and I thought that was really cool, because it's as if it kind of could seem like a deleted scene from The Last Jedi almost, but it's a canon Legends crossover, which is interesting. I'm not I know pretty much nothing about Legends, but the Solo twins, I think they're called, from Legends, appear in this.
Mhm.
And starting off the bat, the person who plays Luke, he's only in the first scene here, but he doesn't really, obviously look like Mark Hamill, but he's got the speech patterns down. Like when R2 comes up to him and he's like, "I know, R2," like the way he says it, I was really impressed with that. And so this is essentially, it could also be seen as a reimagining of the cave sequence from The Last Jedi. Rey goes into this forest, and she's met with what is Kylo Ren at first, and he says that lightsaber belongs to me, and then it cuts to all these different characters. It cuts to Episode 3 Anakin and these two other Legends characters that I'm not too familiar with, but a fight ensues here, and I thought that the editing was really cool, because Rey and Kylo are kind of transforming into these different characters as they're fighting, and I thought it was all really well done, and the production value was amazing. I loved how Kylo's lightsaber looks cracked like it does in the movies, and just when they would cut to different characters, it was just really smooth. And I think someone else also saw this film.
I did it as well.
Okay.
I watched it when it came
Yeah,
out, and I thought it was really well done. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I was just looking at the scene. I was going to point out when it transitioned, but go ahead.
Yo, like a lot of the cool part about the sequence, like right here, like when they're walking around, there's a sequence where they're like on top of a tree and they're fighting back and forth, and like it'll transition between characters and characters, like it'll like flicker like back and forth, and like there was like no judder at all with the editing, like it was smooth, like you could tell they were focusing while they're filming this, like okay, we need to get this just right so the movements match up when we cut to a different actor or an actress when they're filming this. I thought it's like one of the best shot films when it comes to that angle because they have so many things they need to like juggle. They're like, oh my god, how are we gonna balance having different actors and actresses like come into different characters? Like that was a great shot right there. And like you have Legends characters fighting canon characters. I thought it was really well done.
Yep, she turns into my girl Jaina fighting Jason. Then back to Rey. Yeah, it's super well done, and you gotta respect like the love for the entirety of the franchise. But sorry, I don't mean to cut you guys off. You can if there's still items you guys got on this. You have any further thoughts, Peyton?
I really like the ending of this fan film. I don't know if I should really talk about it because like in too much detail in case people want to watch it and they don't want it spoiled, but I'll just say that it essentially leads into Rey's Last Jedi arc, or at least the rest of it from this point in the story, really well. So that's another way it could kind of replace or add a scene from that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And yep, I'm cutting it off there, so you'll have to actually go watch the whole thing, and you know, support, hopefully comment and like those videos as well, so that more people can check them out. And yeah, let's see here. There's another one that we had multiple people check out, called Smugglers Trade. Who was the two that checked out Smugglers Trade?
Okay, I need to know, am I crazy or was that Dash Rendar? I have to just, it looks like I'm crazy. Okay, cool. Not Dash Rendar, thought it was. Don't know that much about Dash Rendar. He just came to Galaxy of Heroes. I kind of know what he looks like. And there was a guy and I was like, is that him? But
Dash Rendar is designed to be super like late 80s character, lots of pouches. I don't know what's with all the pouches, but yeah, for y'all that saw it, what do you but honestly, I do believe this is supposed to be Dash.
oh, okay, well then why'd everyone go quiet? It made me feel like a lunatic for a second.
No.
I don't have the slightest idea of who you're talking about, so I can neither confirm nor deny. I'd love to agree if I knew who you're talking about.
Yeah, essentially, you know, Han's being Han, he's getting himself into trouble, cheating at cards, and I mean, you know, it's a whole little journey where he has to go and rescue Chewie. He's been cheating at this game so that he can get a lightsaber out of the deal so that he can trade it to this really creepy collector guy who I'm obsessed with. What a great villain.
Yeah.
Great.
Love him. He's like very like Will of the Force, you know, he's kind of like the fire and brimstone archetype for like the Force, which are things that you don't usually see go hand in hand in Star Wars, because it's like you know, you've got the Sith and you've got the Jedi, but and sometimes you have people who believe in the Force who are neither of those, but like not very often. But this guy was like a diehard like Force worshiper, even though he was not like a Force user, which was really neat to see. But he had like Chewie being held hostage, and he needed a lightsaber to trade for Chewie, and then he got double crossed. But I know that this guy in particular, Jamie, forget his last name.
Costin?
Costa?
Yes. yeah, Jamie Costa, he, I remember when Solo was coming out and the cast was first announced, people were pissed this guy was not playing young Han Solo. Like,
He looks
I had not seen
phenomenal.
this movie.
I had to do a double take. I was like, what's their budget? Did they use a deep fake of
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's face or what? Because he looks eerily similar.
Yeah,
I was
there were
like, did
clips of-
Harrison Ford have a baby with Robin Williams and I didn't know about it?
Right, that was exactly
Right.
what I thought about, was Robin Williams and
Wow.
Harrison Ford together. Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no, I totally, like, in, I don't know, 2016 or whenever they announced, like, the cast of Solo, people were like, this clip was going around of this guy, not even from this movie, not even in costume as Han, just doing a Harrison Ford impression as Han Solo.
Wow.
And, you know, one of those, like, hey, kid, you know, just like a little,
Right.
like, 20-second clip. And people were like, cast this man. Like, what?
Lost opportunity. Wow.
Yeah, I know that the Han they ended up going for was, like, a younger Han than he probably would have been playing. But,
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
yeah, it just, like, it was nice to finally see what that hype was all about.
I'm gonna have to
and it
watch
was
this
great.
one
It
then.
was great.
I'm excited to see this one.
Me
Just
too.
for Jamie alone.
Yeah, but kind of building off what Hannah was saying, I feel like the film was really well shot, like in the beginning sequence and in the ending sequence. I feel like the chase in the middle, like that's when you can kind of tell they ran out of budget, because the green screen like effects of them, like him going by, was like they didn't like really spend their time on it that well. So
But
they
that
were,
makes
like,
it more like Star Wars. That really felt like the original.
You're not
Star Wars.
wrong.
Like, oh, that sucked.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite thing about Star Wars is watching like all the jank, all the jank behind the scenes, like how you had to like build a little miniature bridge so that the little person that was playing Jabba's tail wouldn't get crushed by Carrie Fisher, and like that type of stuff is just funny. Like I don't know the logistics of it. Like, oh
mysticism
yeah,
factor.
we got Liam Neeson. Oh, he's tall. Oh, damn it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Had to
and this
rebuild the
guy,
sets.
the
Go ahead.
Jamie Costa, he also played in Obi-Wan in the Kenobi short film. He made both of those.
Wow.
And-
Okay.
Man is versatile.
We love.
He is
yeah.
a little chameleon, that one. Because he killed both. Like,
I didn't realize that was him as
Yeah.
Kenobi. I was too busy staring at James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, playing the Imperial in that one.
Mm-hmm. And I would say this is also like this is when you could tell the fan films were in the era of the GoFundMe era, because like you could tell they put a lot of money into the costumes and set direction, and like you could tell that's what all the budget went into that opening sequence.
Yeah, the makeup and the costumes were really, really good.
Yeah.
Definitely. Awesome. So, I mean, does anyone else have any more like final ones that they want to share or bring up, or
Did anyone
we
see?
gotta talk about the Kenobi one. We
Yeah,
gotta talk
Obi-Wan.
about the Kenobi one. That one was-
Go ahead. I haven't seen that one. I'm
I haven't
intrigued.
either, but I'm interested.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of the direction that I personally expect that they will go in for the Kenobi show. It's Obi-Wan in the desert, watching over Luke, dealing with, I'm endangering him by being here. I gotta go, getting into hijinks, being like, okay, I'll stay. He needs me to protect him from these hijinks. Like, it felt like it could have been the pilot of the Obi-Wan TV show, and I don't think anyone would have been mad.
Okay.
Well, no, I can't say no one would have been mad. It's Star Wars, but like
Everyone's always mad. Come on.
Yeah.
it was a solid, it would have been like a solid kickoff for at least for the first half of the first episode of the Obi-Wan show.
Mhm.
But what happens there is he is he's got Anakin's lightsaber at one point, and he's like debating like, oh, I gotta throw it away. I'm not sure what exactly was going through his head in that moment. That was a little confusing, the business with Anakin's lightsaber. But obviously it's an object that has a lot of emotional meaning to him that he's been keeping, and he's thinking about leaving Tatooine for Luke's well-being. And then he gets these Tuscans take his lunch money and leave the lightsaber. It's really
Lunch
funny.
money.
It's like, why didn't you take the lightsaber? But he, ends up, the Imperials show up at the moisture farm, and they're interrogating and being like, oh, why, the Larses are trying to hide Luke in case they're coming for him. And the officers are like, why are you hiding this child? What do you have to hide? Huh? What's going on? And then Obi-Wan comes and kicks ass. And one of my favorite parts about this
As he
film is little baby Luke. He's so cute. I am obsessed with this little child who plays like 3-year-old Luke Skywalker. And especially the fact that, like, Luke kind of watches Obi-Wan in his very Jedi badassery. He watches it all go down, and then obviously he's gonna forget it and have to learn it all over again. But I just thought that was so great. It's like, yeah, that lightsaber is gonna be yours. Like, just you wait. I just thought it was so great. And of course, the hut that Obi-Wan is in at the beginning as well. It just felt like, yeah, that's right. Like, that's definitely where he lives. I had no questions. I forgot that was not in the movies. Or was it in the movies? And it's a recreation. I don't think it was.
No, I mean, we got to see a bit of his hut. That's where Luke first went.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
this handsome gentleman we see here, that's the Imperial. That is the Clone Wars voice actor for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And joined
James Earl
the
Taylor.
fan film. So that's super cool.
Whoa,
so
that's sick.
definitely recommend this. You can look at and just see the production value. I mean, just the thought of like having to build vaporators and stuff like that is like it's pretty extreme. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into this, a lot of planning, a lot of scheduling, and that's, I don't know, there's so many moving parts on a film. One of the things I just think is really cool and unique about that as a form of storytelling. Like, I don't think any other form of storytelling is anywhere near as collaborative as film.
Yeah.
And being able to get that. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Kind of going back to what I was saying about Obi-Wan is one of the details I really like about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, or it's a fan film, is that you can kind of tell, like, the way that Jamie Costa was acting on it. Like, there's a bit of tragedy he was hiding back, because, like, when he's talking about Luke, the Imperial was like, "Where'd you find him?" Or "Where's his father?" And he's like, "Dead, I like fear." And like you could tell, like, Obi-Wan was like hiding like a bunch of like his trauma with Anakin and like kind of projecting it onto Luke.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I felt like Jamie Costa did a really good job acting with that. Like Bill Hannah says, like, he was really much like a chameleon.
Yeah, as acting with layers where you can see that there's stuff behind it, and that's the, I don't know, that's the stuff that really gets me excited about acting. I mean, I think of like, I'm super excited for She-Hulk because Tatiana Maslany is. There was one scene where that show is about clones. There's a scene where it's one clone pretending to be the other, disguised as them, and you can tell that this is this person trying to mimic the mannerisms of the other person, and you can tell that. I don't even know how you can act that out. That sounds crazy to me, but people can.
It's like
people
that
can
scene
do
in
it.
Harry Potter where it's like Emma Watson is playing, what was it? She's playing Hermione pretending to be Bellatrix, but she's doing the Bellatrix in it. Or no, it's not Emma
Right.
Watson.
Spoilers.
It's
No, I'm
Helena
kidding.
Bonham Carter pretending to be
Yeah.
Emma Watson as Hermione pretending to be Bellatrix. Like, there's so many layers in there.
Yeah.
Shakespearean.
Yeah. Truly.
No, that's so cool. But yeah, I mean, I gotta ask you guys though. So if given the stuff that you love about films, and we'll go around so we can all get in on it. If you could create your own project, what would you make? Anyone want to go first? All right.
That's
Well,
a
then
tough
I'm.
one.
Well, then I'm calling on people. I'm calling on Harith first.
Okay, I guess, well, since I'm really into Star Wars books right now, I'd probably do a fan film set in the High Republic era. I don't know exactly what I would do in that era, maybe I would go something like old school. Maybe I would go like, what are bounty hunters like during this time in the galaxy when the Republic is at its best and peak? How do they get their funds? Like something like that, and then like make it like a cool like little heist film. Maybe they're trying to go into Starlight Beacon and get something out of Starlight Beacon and get out. Something like that. I don't know.
That's cool. Okay, so in your imagination, is this a book or is this a short film? Is this a animated film?
I would probably go short film, like maybe just like a 10-minute little short, like maybe like a I don't know. That's hard again. It's like you're just like, all right, make a fan film. I'm like, oh god, I need to think of something quick. But yeah, I'd probably go High Republic, like heist, like Ocean 11 style, something like, oh, they need to get something off of this.
Okay. Sometimes I like to put people on the spot. Sorry about that. Also, I got Mike Hinton in the chat just bragging. He's got Wookiees and droids and troopers if anyone's working on a film. Awesome. Thank you for volunteering. That's super appreciative. None of us are working on anything right now, but we'll definitely keep that in mind.
We love droids.
Also,
droids here.
We
love the droids. If I can get more, please.
Also, at some point, Mike, I should get you on here because I'm sure there's a story behind having all of these. You know, I think I'm overdue for another collector's episode. So definitely. And then also, I just got to shout out Jazzy. Always a delightful person.
Jazz. Hello, Jazz.
Yeah, just the best. We get the best crowds of people in here. So we appreciate all of y'all. All right, and yeah, let's go to Discount Bo-Katan next. And also, anyone in the chat, if you guys have an idea for a project you would love to create, go ahead and put it in the chat so I can shout them out as well.
Well, so my dream, if I'm making, my dream is twofold for my fantasy Star Wars fan film. For me, I want to play young Admiral Holdo. I think that would be really fun. I want to know more about Holdo. You know, there's like a little bit of her in Bloodlines, and like she seems even cooler as a young lady. So that sounds like a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. I would love, oh my god. And you with purple hair? Oh, that'd be a moment. Oh my god. We need to get you a purple wig right now. Right now. Or dye hair, whatever.
Laura Dern is great, so you know, doing an impression would not be the end of the world. It would be fun. But I also would love to see, actually, somebody in the chat just said we need to see an Afra fan film, which I wholeheartedly agree with as well. But my idea is I would like to see what ifs, you know, what Marvel had with What If. I want to see in some Star Wars fan films where it's like, what if, you know, what if Ben had lived at the end of Rise of Skywalker and he just had to go into hiding? What's his life like that after he's done being the galaxy's biggest villain and he's just chilling on Tatooine? What does he do? You know, it's that kind of thing. You know, what if, I don't know. Just hypotheticals like that. The big one is I want to see what Ben would be up to if he had not died. But yeah, I would like to explore some alternate timelines.
Yeah. I love that. Also, shout out to Mike Hinton again. We have 000. I think Nicole would make a great Afra.
Ooh. Well, if anybody wants to make a fan film about Dr. Afra, I'm here.
And Darth Juliet has one in the works. So
yes, Julia. Yes.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. We got Quinlan Voss, the film. Absolutely.
Element 7 somewhere in the chat.
I think we may have just summoned him with that.
Afra in the style of Fleabag is the greatest idea anyone has ever had. You're a genius.
I would love.
I don't know Fleabag. Should I know Fleabag?
Watch Fleabag. I'm pretty sure it's still on Amazon Prime. I mean, it's an Amazon Prime made series, right? Or if I'm
it would definitely be on Prime. No, it's fantastic. It's like the, you know, tongue-in-cheekiest of comedies. I adore it.
It's really good. It's by our favorite droid, L3. What's I can't remember.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Phoebe, yeah, there you go.
Waller-Bridge. Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, yes.
Phoebe Bridgers is a singer.
The singer, yeah. Phoebe Waller, whatever. Yes, L3. it's from our favorite droid, L3. Yeah, I recommend highly.
Awesome. I love it.
See a lot of Fleabag stands, and then yes, a lot of Fleabag.
I
stands.
know, but then I get day 400 of chocolate.
Trying to be no, that's how
True.
I'm the same way. This is the one time I'm familiar with references, so this feels good on the other end. I'll tell you.
I'm
I mean,
lost.
I watched the Lord of the Rings films for the first time a year ago. So like,
Me too.
I'm like,
me too.
Never seen it.
Oh, really? I would have pegged you for
thought-
a Lord of the Rings fan.
You know what? I haven't seen the movies. I read The Hobbit, and
Okay.
it was long, dude. It kind of turned me off.
That's fair.
Yeah, I rewatched them a year ago, and I fall in love with those movies every time. Fellowship of the Ring is my second favorite movie. Like, period.
Really well done. Really well done movies.
First, I was sort of a King guy myself, but you know.
Yeah, fair. I mean, they're all kind of like one body of work, really.
Yeah, because they shot like all at the same time.
Yeah, like
Well-
back to back. I think.
when you have the budget for it, then absolutely. I could see Disco Bo-Katan as a Hobbit personally. I'd love to see it.
I've been involved in several children's theater productions of The Hobbit as a stage manager and an assistant director, respectively. And so I know the story from a condensed, version,
Right.
very
That's all you need
well. But I read the book when I was in elementary school, so it's been a minute. And that's probably why I didn't like it. I was 9, hard to get
Well,
into.
that's not when you don't. That's wrong. Try it again.
You did it all wrong. Gosh, you didn't follow the instructions.
Oh my gosh.
How about you, Peyton? What are you making?
Okay, so this is a tough question. This is kind of like off the top of my head, but the one that Harris talked about, where it's kind of those stormtroopers just talking to each other, is really fascinating to me. I like focusing on kind of the smaller characters, and I also think we need more sequel trilogy content, like in that era. So
Yes.
I had an idea for, like, I want to see more of Rose and Paige when they were younger, because I think it would, to see their bond as sisters, it would really add to the beginning of The Last Jedi and just the whole movie as a whole. And I just love when little things like that completely recontextualize other films.
More
And-
Canto Bite is kind of a hot take, but I'm on
Yeah,
board with
no,
that.
totally more Canto Bite.
Ken
Yeah.
Pins your club.
Where is Malik when we need him?
Yeah, Broom Kid, bring him back.
They're
Yeah, that too. Maybe a fan film about him. I don't know, but just I want more context to the sequels, and I want to focus more on small characters. So something like that would probably
Totally
be my
agree.
dream project.
awesome. I love it. Let's see. I got Man on the Moon, a
Ooh.
Rail Avros film. That would be pretty cool. Dooku's first apprentice, who's having a lot of troubles, having his kind of like falling out type deal, where he was taken to the Jedi older than most, and as a result has some there's some difficulties there. Plus having his master having left the order could be a really interesting film, real interesting thing to explore. Forward into the Black, saying, where's my Alphabet fan film? Alphabet Squadron, the final book, is so cool. But speaking of smaller characters, you have people who are in the Alphabet Squadron book. These are people who are pilots, and you end up finding out that the pilots on both sides are really not that different from each other at all. Not all of them even believe in their cause, but they have to keep going. They've already kind of made their bed and they're forced to lie in it. you know, what do you do when you lead a company of these men and they don't have anything to fight for, but they don't have a future without this empire? What do you do? I don't know. It's just there's a lot of interesting things, and like you said, you know, focusing on kind of like these smaller characters and things would just be really really cool. Camilla says Kedpin. Also, shout out to Cobot Squadron. That book, if you get the audiobook, it's actually read by Kelly Marie Tran, but it does kind of
that's
go
cool.
Nice.
it does kind of go into that a bit, and it has her and her sister and them first getting involved and joining the bombing squadron. We have a Babu Frick fan film, absolutely. And then shout out to Galactic Empire. It's Star is music, but metal, and it's amazing. Their cover of the Asteroid Belt theme is everything to me. Like it's brutal and beautiful.
But
And
speaking of scores, most of those films that we watched had like original compositions that were insane. I just realized nobody mentioned that, and it's bonkers. But just throwing that out there.
A lot of good scores.
I remember the Mall Apprentice one had a really good score from what I was remembering. The one with him set before Phantom Menace, I thought that had a really good score.
absolutely.
Speaking of Babu Frick fan film, another thing I just thought of is what if we had a fan film where it's just Babu Frick fixing a bunch of different droids, like people just bring them in and you get the story of those characters and what's wrong with their droid, like with Babu Frick at the center. That would be kind of cute.
That would be cool. I'm into it for sure.
Yeah.
I'll rate that.
All right. And yeah, Nicole, what are you making?
I very aggressively agreed about more sequel stuff. I feel like, you know, once I do my research, because I feel like I know 5% compared to everybody else in this fandom about the lore and the worlds and stuff. I know next to nothing. It's like that audio. It's like one day it all makes sense, and the next day I don't understand any of it. But once I would do my research, I feel like I would love to make something post Rise of Skywalker. I don't know if it'd be, you know, maybe a new
Jedi training.
Right, yeah, a new sort of Jedi Academy run by Miss Rey, or maybe a new threat that comes after, you know, the First Order, something like that. I don't know, some cool new Jedi training academy kind of thing would be really fun to make. I feel, yeah. I just want more. I want more stuff after Rise of Skywalker. I'd love to see that.
Did someone say Finn? No, but we're all thanking him very loudly. Just as usual. But Art and Nicole, would you want to star in it, direct it?
Unfortunately, maybe, yeah. No, kidding. No, it'd be great. I don't know what I would who or what I would do. But yeah, I'd love to snag myself a role in something I'd make. I just don't know what. Anybody in the chat, what do you guys think? Right post Rise of Skywalker era, what would you see me? Who would you see me portraying? Let me know. I'm interested. I have no idea.
I mean, I see you as an original character who is some sort of force sensitive bounty hunter. That's like discovering the force and like not sure what to do, but you also kill people. So you know.
Right, yeah. As one does as a bounty hunter. Yeah.
I was gonna say Pose Kid, but I think that could be conflicting for you to have Oscar Isaac playing your father.
Listen. That is
he's supposed to be her daddy, not her father.
While I might have to, you know, swallow some vomit, it would be a good acting challenge. I think, like, it's in a sick, twisted little way. Yeah, like, who knows? Because here's the thing. Early in 2021, when I just started to get on Star Wars TikTok, I was fortunately and unfortunately compared to Oscar a lot. A lot of people in my comments like, oh my God, you guys look like siblings. Oh my God, you look like you could be Poe's sister. So I see it, I don't see it, I understand it, I don't understand it. It's a battle every day. And again, I think it'd be a cool challenge. I don't know. It'd be really sick and twisted, but I'm open for it. I'm open to the sick. I am.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. I'm here for it. We have Chris saying, I'm still waiting on the Lost Stars fan film starring Nicole as Santa Ree.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I rate that.
You write that sick.
Yeah.
Get to work.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Like I had a lot of fun kind of like going into the nitty gritty. I learned some stuff about film, and hopefully everyone has a lot more fan films that they need to watch. Because like we saw, like the overall quality is just really, really going up, you know? Nicole going to Luther Lair, really.
We gotta stick to the source material. We gotta reference the OT. We
An
gotta
homage.
Yeah, exactly.
Homage.
Obviously.
I really wish I didn't move my guitar. It was sitting right here. I would have played Sweet Home Alabama. But that being said, thank you guys once again for coming out. I want to do if we can go around one last time, kind of give us your final thoughts. Let me ask: has everyone here seen episode 3 of the Book of Boba Fett?
No, I haven't.
Okay, never mind then. All right, final thoughts on these fan films or anything about the Star Wars community, anything you want to say, and once again, let us know where we can find you and your amazing content. And we will start with Harith.
Hi, I'm Hair Productions on TikTok, like I said earlier. They fly that show on YouTube every Monday, talking about set topics, and kind of just talking about fan films, like wrap up final thoughts. I feel like people kind of overlook and overestimate like how much of an impact they can have on like Star Wars overall, because like again, like sometimes it's something minor, like oh, this is a stunt worker's like show off reel, or oh, this is a VFX test, or oh, I did this as like a little like what I can see, like the guy that did like the Luke Skywalker deepfakes that like got hired by Lucasfilm. Like a lot of these things have big effects and people don't realize it. And I feel like they can be like an artistic like medium to like help them get into filmmaking, and they can eventually kind of like achieve what they want to do. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that.
I mean, I've had crazy opportunities just pop up randomly from making videos on TikTok, you know, like it's crazy. But like if you have passion for something, just go out and go for it, do it, you know, and who knows what happens. But either way, you'll be closer to where you want to be. You'll have fun, you'll gain some more skills. Won't be too bad. And for JJ Cat Lady, as soon as I finish here, I'm gonna put the entire list of fan films that we were working with. I'm gonna put it in the description field for this video if you want to check it out. Also, while we're wrapping up, if you haven't already given the stream a like, I know I forget to do that sometimes myself. Deploy the likes. I appreciate it. Yeah. How about you, Hannah?
Yes. So hi, I'm Hannah. You can find me on TikTok at Discount Bo-Katan. I do little comedy videos there, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And any final thoughts on anything?
I think that it's thoughts in general. You know, I don't tend to have those. No, I think that, you know, you should not feel like making fan films is inaccessible just because a lot of them are so high budget, because a lot of these fan film makers, I'm sure, did not start out with that product. You know, if you want to make a Star Wars fan film, there is no wrong way to go about doing it, in my humble opinion, even though, you know, I don't know anything about what it takes to actually make one of these, except for, you know, I've seen the money that goes into them. But you know, you should feel empowered to make your film As long as you put your passion and your heart into it, I will watch it. Send it to me. Those are my Star Wars movie thoughts.
Awesome. I love it. That's the thing that gets most people the people the most excited to see. And what's funny is like when you're watching someone, you know, if you don't know them, and they're even if it seems like they're having a hard time, like 9 out of 10 times we're rooting for them, you know. So like just go out. I look at, you know, my content when I first started. I'm still not good at it, but like it was so bad that I look at these old videos and I'm like, oh man. But they say, you know, you got to make at least 100 terrible videos before you start moving. So the faster you get through it.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sooner you get it over with, the sooner you're going to be master at it.
None of the things that we displayed on this stream are any of these people's first projects. We'll say that for sure. But yeah. How about you, Nicole?
So again, my name is Nicole Maricela. You can find me on TikTok at Nicole Maricela, Instagram Nicole.Maricela. I'm more active on TikTok. I do Star Wars, Marvel stuff, very novice cosplays, acting things here and there. And my closing thoughts on fan films and Star Wars fan films. I really never tapped into these kinds of films before you brought up the idea, Chaco. So I'm definitely feeling a lot more inspired to like make my own projects again, whether it's Star Wars related or not, because it's been a while. It's been maybe like 2 or 3 years since I've created something of my own. I have a screenplay that's literally collecting dust. So I'm definitely super inspired. I know I have to soon enough. Hopefully this year I will have it done. Yeah, very inspiring and just it's these films just gave me more reason to love Star Wars as a franchise in general. Just everything from the effects to the music, the score, to the costumes and or wardrobe, I should say. You know, it's always nice to have like an extra thing to remind you and remind yourself like, oh yeah, this is why I like this stuff, because it's cool and it's interesting and it's fascinating, and there's so much passion and work put into these kinds of into all these kinds of medias. So yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I'll try to make my own sort of Star Wars fan film. But yeah, I don't think anybody should underestimate these kinds of things, especially the ones that are, you know, non-for-profit on YouTube. You can watch in a click and finish and consume in like 10 minutes. I think these are wonderful bodies of work. I enjoy the ones that I watched for sure, and I want to watch a lot more that I didn't get to. A couple that you guys talked about beforehand. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun to kind of react in real time and make as many notes as I possibly can in real time so I can talk about it here. So yeah, I think that's something I'll definitely keep doing. Just keep watching more and more Star Wars fan-made films and keep getting inspired. Yeah.
Plus, you also you can't watch these or participate in them without having an appreciation for how the actual films are made.
Right.
You know, and like I know, I just feel like there's a sometimes there's complaints but if you ask like, oh, how would you do it, and they're like, well, I don't know. type of deal. Last but certainly not least, we have Peyton. But real quick, I want to shout out this one. Says before Disney brought us new content, the fan films kept us going, and that's the really the truth, because there was nothing for large portions of time where all you had was just these little projects that people would work on to keep things alive. The original one, which is Hardware Wars, which is on the list, is one of the very first fan films. Even got a nod by Brian Johnson in The Last Jedi once again. But yeah, Peyton,
All right, so my name is Peyton. You can find me on TikTok at Peyton_JB. I talk about movies and I branch out to Star Wars as well, and I collect physical media. So it's a ton of fun over there. You should check it out. And closing thoughts, I mean, like Nicole was saying, it's really inspiring. And I also had not really looked into Star Wars fan films before this, but I'm certainly going to look into a lot more of them now. And some of the ones we talked about that I didn't get a chance to watch sound really interesting. And it's amazing what people can do with just a love for the franchise, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And what it made me realize really is there's a lot of stuff in Star Wars. Like there's a lot of different corners of the universe that you can tackle. So it really is just so many things to work with, so many ideas to be had, and I just really think that it's cool that a lot of people are bringing them to life.
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely. And as someone that is a huge lover of both canon material and Legends material, if there's a story you want to see, write it, do it,
Yep.
make it. I want to see
Exactly.
it.
Like people all the time will talk about things that they don't like about Star Wars, but you could really make something that you like that is Star Wars. I mean, that's what this proves. It's awesome.
Literally in any sort of media too. It could be a film, it could be a series, it could be an animated short, it could be a fan fiction for all we care. Like if it's something that we can consume, we're gonna want to see it.
Exactly. You watch a film and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I kind of wish it was this way.
Mm-hmm. Then do
Do
it.
it like
Make
that.
it. Yeah.
Passion projects are the best type of projects.
Literally, I agree.
And reach out to Mike Hinton because Mike Hinton has all the costumes and is just the coolest person. I don't know. Just we got chill or something. I don't know. So now James O'Connell says, when is the fan film coming out with this cast right here?
What would we be? What would we be?
What would we, well, yeah. What would we do?
I want to play a Wookiee.
Great. Say less.
Yep. No, I think we could put something together and can act and do all the other roles. I think I can picture Harith as an awesome droid.
Okay.
I just see it.
Okay.
I don't know what I would play. I don't know, but it'd be fun. Some type of alien. I'll be a hut or something. I just like chill. Anyhow, thank you guys once again, and for everyone in the chat. Thank you, Saint Pat, Connor, Master Yoro, Cat Lady, who is now expecting Chrysanthemum cosplays from Peyton. Love to see it.
Samuel Tarly cosplays first. Okay.
Yes. Isaac Church. We got just the best group. Darth Juliet, Chris, Star Wars Lawyer. We got Brooke, Element 7, Xanatos. Wonderful people. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and may the force be